right, mic check. Good mic. Better mic. Very good. Cool. Ah, man. So I mean, we did get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, I mean, I'm starting to think we might chop. Unfortunately, at least on the ETFs, we'll see. Fuck. All right. Took a while, but we here. Yeah, sorry about that. I had a children, kids. That's all I gotta say about that. There's cameras everywhere. Let's kind of lower that down a little bit. Oh no, Radiohead. All right. All right. So without any further, I'm not a dork. I'm on YouTube, by the way. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Um, oh, thanks for listening, Minority World. Appreciate you, brother. All right, so let's try and figure this out. All right, guys. By the way, if you haven't, if you're watching back on YouTube or whatever, go check out my latest videos on TikTok. I'm gonna start putting out more educational content on there. So I want you guys to make sure that you catch that. But other than that, let's start this Sunday prep by looking at NQ, looking at futures here. First things first, right? Yeah, camera looks, yeah, kind of. Let me see something real quick. Uh, Maybe a little lower. All right, we'll do that. All right, so anyway, what's up, y'all? NQ has opened up in range. Period. End of story. That is what we're currently looking at as we go into this week. Now, hold on 1 second. It's about to fall. What's up, TikTok? We did open up in range. Is a level underneath me that I've identified as that short level that is basically a candle close anywhere underneath the 25,350 area on NQ. Again, we have opened up in range without any further context as to where we go up or where we do have where we go down, but we don't have a candle open in either. So we're going to have to move down into a lower time frame where obviously we can see this, right? You open up, you reach out, you try to grab onto a floor, and if you look, that open is right up against that candle. So that being said, we don't really have anything other than where we go higher here on the 2-hour time frame, which would be nice to see some building. There is empty space directly up above you, which would likely drive us, or if price ends up bouncing going into tomorrow, this is where the play is at. All right, so Monday, Tuesday's play is likely going to be up here as far as the upside is concerned. Basically looking for a break, right? We're going to look at the 50% mark of this candle or of that empty space and look at a first target of 25,565, and then obviously all the way up into that 25.7. We'll translate that to the cues here in just a second. If you're right here where I'm pointing, I'm on the tube. You can go in my bio, Potter Stocks Trading, and find me there. So NQ in range, no move, but we do have our targets, or rather our range that we could be trading in going into Monday here. So again, read and react scenario opening up. Empty space up above. Now let's talk about the downside, because we do have some pressing matters across the world that are currently, could affect price. One of those being Venezuela, obviously. But with this bounce and move back up to the upside, if we end up seeing sellers push this back down, the trigger for the short, or the trigger for me to go lower, aiming for the floor at 25.2 and possibly even all the way down to 2,500 flat. Lifetime's already gone. But 2,500 flat, that is my trigger up above. So anyway, NQ up or above and below, but we are opening up in range. So I talked. Oh, well, let me hold on. I do want to point something out. All right. And I don't care. I don't care if you're ready to go, if you're super excited to trade. Remember this: 1, 2, 3, 4. And we did see 4 or 3 days of kind of like really scratchy downside action, but we did get, right, basically 4 days, 5 days in a row of consecutive downside. So to see, right, a little bit of this, we shall see what happens when we open up on Monday, but it wouldn't be a surprise. Thank you guys for liking the live, by the way. Lifetime, go on, my boy. But anyway, I'm on YouTube if you want to find me there. All right, so let's push this and take a look at what this means to NQ or to the QQQ. We could likely be looking at a candle open up in this range, which again doesn't really tell us much of anything, but does drive us down into this lower price action where, of course, we have that same pocket of empty space and a break over 614.66 for your first target, which would be 617.37, excuse me, 637 flat, and then 619. All right, moving on. We'll take a look at ES here. That empty space, of course, on it, we did gap up. We gapped up to the wick right here on the 4 hour. The 24 hour is really not much to explain other than we didn't bounce up or put ourselves in a position to squeeze sellers out. We are still underneath where sellers control the price. And so everything we map out here will likely be on a lower time frame. Hourly time frame, still not really giving me much. I do see a candle close right here at 6,900, 30-minute time frame. Right? We can see a box that we punched through previously and has retested. So falling or closing back underneath 68.93 would be potentially bearish. Breaking over your open high of 69.12 would give you a potential target in here, but this is potential range. 15-minute, actually have some pretty good analysis on the video. 15 and 5, I do want to again remind you, empty space right here and empty space down here. So day trading opportunities are there for both. Yeah, by the way, if you're just I don't want to keep saying it out loud, but that's where we're at. Chart, chat, join us. So that way you can get your chart request or your chart requested. Yeah, I have seen that NQ. I have that. It's been pretty comical, actually. It's beautiful. You should look at that Bonka kid. Same thing. All right, now, last one. Sorry, IWM or RTY. Let's see if we got any major change here on futures. Nothing really doing as of right now. So tomorrow morning will be our ETF breakdown when it matters the most. Looking at a bounce, but potentially at 25.16 with a decent amount of empty space up above you, right? Decent build on the 4 hour, decent build here on the 2 hour. So to be honest with you, IWM seems to be presenting one of the better setups as I move down into a lower time frame. Looks like we got some flack up there. You did reach up and touch that 30-minute time frame. Yeah, so, I mean, while this doesn't have as clean of a setup as I thought it would, it doesn't have that much in front of it. So it would be at 25.27. Yeah, 25.27 and a break over 25.30 to potentially start driving price back up, which we are in a position to potentially do that. I like IWM a little bit better for a read and react scenario going into this week. What you'll notice too is again, none of this is confusing, right? That's not something that we should be going into this week. But reminder, right? These same floors, like basically 250, right? And ceilings will be where we see a relatively strong move to the upside. As of right now, with Friday's candle close, we are looking at potential continuation 249.81 and 251 being two targets. One of the things that potentially allows price to move pretty solidly is the lack of structure in between those boxes and these little micro pockets of empty space here that could allow for price to move pretty rapidly. I think the downside needs no explanation as of right now. If we need a, or rather we are looking for a break to the downside, it would start by a loss of 248. All right, cool. ETFs are done. And we are pretty much boiling this down to last week we saw, last 2 weeks, we've seen a big move up with little to no consolidation and then a decent move back down 4 days in a row. So if we did see consolidation, it would not be a huge surprise, which just means go look at individual equities if we do not move. Well, I don't mean not move at all, but like if we end up bouncing around in range or not breaking our range. So, alrighty. If you have anything you would like for me to take a look at or you would like on this recording, drop your request right now. Oil. I mean, you've got things like XOM, ExxonMobil, Chevron. They're about to, I mean, investors could be looking at what's happening now as, you know, a potential cash crop, and that could just drive volume into oil. But as far, I mean, shit, liquid gold, maybe we see the same energy put into this one. As far as the chart is concerned, right? Trying to remember what the fucking US oil. Yeah, was it this one? Yeah, it's definitely been known to go on these rampant squeezes. So yeah, we'll take a look at that one as well. But as far as the chart setup is concerned, there's not really anything pressing at the moment. I know that's where the volume is heading, or people are likely going to be heading. So yeah, go ahead and everybody drop your requests. So let's take a look at NVIDIA first, which, you know, on the weekly time frame, there's really nothing that we can really draw out of that. That's okay. We look at the 24-hour time frame, and this is where things get fucking interesting. All right, because man, if NVIDIA, I mean, obviously a lot of whiplash, a lot of big up and down movement, and so it at least will provide some decent volatility. And I think with this consolidation, go back to the 24-hour. So what you'll notice here is that we're sitting underneath, perfectly underneath that 190. We've rested our support on virtually nothing, right? You go to the 4-hour and you can kind of see what we're sitting on, and directly underneath you, right? And this is, I would assume, more of a day trading opportunity. I wouldn't think that this takes more than 1 day. But you have this first range or box underneath you. I would be looking at a 1-8. You have a, oh, God damn it. Fuck. You're not going to make me trade NVIDIA, but I'll do it. There's a gap down. There's a gap right here. So depending on where NVIDIA opens up, whether it's up at its highs and it reaches up and then legs down, NVIDIA has a pretty prime opportunity under 188.33 to your gap fill and potentially 184.50. There is more empty space underneath you, but that signal lies on the hourly where you have a different range with a different median, and that price being 183.50. So Potter TikTok can't see the chart. I don't know if you did that on purpose. Kenny, if anybody is watching right now, go to my YT YouTube. That is where I'm at right now, streaming my chart. This is if you guys want to tap your screen, hang out, watch, ask questions, please do that. But yeah, gotta get that out of there. This, I just keep getting banned every time I go live on my typical shit, so don't know what to do. USO, thank you for reminding me, dude. I completely forgot about that one. All right, so let's look at oil. All right, so you know what this looks like? It looks like a mini version of this, right? Same price action, just more concentrated. Now, eventually, yes, it goes up on a run, but before it does that, it builds a big ass box and gives you that 1, 2, 3 break out of it. Looking at this, don't really see anything crazy, but I can tell you that I would try my luck on USO at 70.55 candle close 24-hour time frame. Anyway, go back to Nvidia. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of consolidation. Expect movement soon. Expect movement soon, okay? But Garrett, I don't believe you. That's fine. Let me help you, right? I'm not saying it happens tomorrow, but with the 6 days of consolidation, 6, 7, 6, I'm sorry, I got to stop. Right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, break, right? That's one example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we go for that break, right? In here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you start that green journey and you rip ass, right? Over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green, right? This is bullshit, but you still get price action moving to the upside. You know what I just realized? I just had an epiphany. Most of y'all treat stocks, women aside, like horn dogs. Like you just approach these stocks and you're like, hey, you want to do it? Introduce yourself. How many days in a row does it consolidate? Get to know that stock. I'm sorry. These are clear signs that I have autism. But you see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, right? You want to see or look back and see how does this stock run. We've already come to the conclusion that it's 3 days of downside on SPY and about 4 days of upside on SPY and about 5 to 6 days of consolidation in between. Right? So that is my, right? I know this stock and I can do that on anything that I trade. You can actually come to the conclusion that the stock only moves when it gets news because there is no regular scheduled programming. So anyway, I'm sorry if I lost you guys on that one. I thought it was cool when I thought of it. I guess the question is, why did I think about it? Alrighty, Nvidia, silver. Lord have mercy, dude. So, you know, again, going back to the same old, this is one of the biggest moves we've seen on silver. And one of the things we've seen on silver is obviously one of these. I mean, this is literally, it goes back to this area here. As far as I'm concerned, right? What does this candle on silver tell me on the weekly? That we're likely going to slow down, right? That's what I see. When you get these kind of like people are inviting me to co-host. So the weekly is an inside candle, right? Just stretching from top to bottom. The 24-hour is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of consolidation. 4 of those days being in virtually the same price range between 67.70 and 64.20. So can we expect a break? Yes. Does this have a lower time frame channel? It does. Does it have any structure? Not really. But we can lean on our floors, which says above 67.43, silver has a price target and a potential to go back up at 69.50. Okay. I think this is a pretty decent setup. I do not, without a doubt, the floor is 64 flat or 64.20. That is your floor. So with these price points, you can make an educated decision. So I think lower time frame supports a move back up. That price target's probably going to be closer to about 68, 80, 69 bucks, but yeah. Bro, I blew my account slapping 15 micros on silver thinking it was similar to gold. Moment of silence for our boy here. Now, was it a funded account or was it? Because if it's a funded account, you got this, bro. Bounce back. If you are here where I'm pointing, go to the Red app. If you want me to just drop your request, it won't go anywhere and it will get done. So if you really want to have it done, but you want to stay on TikTok, go drop that there. It'll help. All right. PLTR. Fuck. Yeah. Um, yeah, we are closing down the merch site for the time being. It's probably going to be till summer before we release any new clothes. Obviously, we sold I sold out of the hoodies, sold out of most of the hats. So I might do like I'm gonna tell Ivy by next Friday. So if you want a hat or a shirt, I might throw a discount out there on those. Um, but uh, but yeah, we're gonna close that down. I'm not a chipper. Like I'm not somebody who's just gonna keep. Yeah, I don't have like a team, and I also don't have enough volume to. That was just a little party. All right, so PLTR 24-hour time frame. Ooh, mama. So one of the biggest short signs. Listen, I would have busted a technological nut for this setup. I mean, just I missed it, but that candle closed directly at the ceiling. The candle closed directly underneath that. You did successfully get a punch down and you lost that floor. You are now looking to your left, and these are the type of moves that can potentially drive price down even further. Um, yeah, your next price target, very simply, should be around 162.30. However, you have reached a floor that is capable of bouncing, right? Or at minimum, recovering. Now, I don't have a clear, and I'm being honest here, I don't really see a clear, there it is. Okay, now I see it. 171. 171. That will determine, I think, whether or not PLTR presenting a beautiful play back up to the upside that anybody could take apart or take a piece of and probably make a big bag on? Absolutely. Does PLTR consolidate after these big moves? Yes. So even if this move does reverse, you would still probably, with all of these floors and bounces to your left, you would probably still experience a little bit of consolidation before that move back up. But react and again, place your entries on structure. Yeah, even the lower time frame kind of supports that notion. So tell you what though, the empty space on PLTR, set your alerts. That automatically makes a playlist. Yeah, 100%. Watch list, not playlist. What am I talking about? All right. And oh, an eval. I got you. Um Intel. I tell you what, I took profit at the floor on INTC. And since I did that, price has just held. Just held. And not only has it held, it's given you the rotations that we typically look for in something that is about to break. That's a little loosey goosey to me, but it's still doing what it needs to do. Right. So let's map this out on the 24-hour because it's a little bit different. So I can't see it very clearly, but it does appear there's going to be a range from 4037 to 4360. Underneath us, and what we bounced off of was cost basis and this box at 3340. Cost basis being 3468. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Thoughts on Tesla? I will take a look at that in just a minute, Scott. Thank you guys for tapping your screen, hanging out on TikTok. What the fuck? Hold on. What was that? All right, let's see here. The 2-hour seems to present a pretty solid case. Check the 2-hour out right here. Nice little box. That's what you're up against. You got a nice little range directly up above that, and a small little range directly above that with empty space in between the two. So looking a little dangerous, not breaking even harder. So you don't really want to see a return back underneath 38. So, all right, let's see here. Lulu, empty space up and down. You are 100% correct. And Lulu can be added to the watch list for this week. What's up, y'all? All right, so far, PLTR and Lulu have really, really nice empty space setups. I don't give a shit about the ETFs. If they don't move, that's fine. But these definitely fit the script. All right. Again, I'm on YT, YouTube. What's up, J Dan? What's up, my boy? How's it over there across the pond? I hope it's not like it is here. Wildin'. All right. Although, I'm going to ship you one of these, dude. Look at this thing. I'm about to eat it after the stream. God damn. No idea what's going on outside. That's funny. That's fucking funny. Yeah, we don't go outside, do we? Yeah, empty. No. So hold on. Before I go any further, Lulu just looks good. Okay, now part of me leans a little bit further down, but here's what I can do. Right, I do not have to wonder. I can look for a break over 213.32. Right, for continuation to the upside where there is an astounding amount of empty space. I can also look down, right, because I have a 4-hour box and any move down below. I mean, straight up, y'all, set alerts all over. Set it. You even have a gap to the downside. So I would even set an alert like right here so that if you lost like 209, perfect, right? You could also set an alert right there, just a little early, 212.93, and start looking for that break. You got 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, gap down below. So we could see, let's still go to the hourly. Look at this. So now we can actually get a price target. If we do end up breaking to the upside, we'd be looking at 219.65. If we move to the downside, however, we'd be looking at probably like 198.50 and 191. Looks really good. All right. Netflix is also on the watch list. Yo, happy you didn't. Happy what? Yo, happy you didn't. I don't know what you're saying. Netflix does make the watch list now. Again, we're probably waiting on some sort of news to release this fucker. But as far as the bounces we are concerned, we've got our 3 rotations. We got a nice little box. I think some of you guys might have entered speculatively on this one. But on the 24-hour, that box kind of goes away and you're just dealing with a flat red candle. So we got our work cut out for us when it comes to recovering. Step 1 of that recovery would be outside of 91.50 on tomorrow or Monday. 91.25 can get that started. There is no room for losses here because if you lose this floor, you've already expended 90.80. the volume's gone off of it, and we would be looking for continuation to the downside. Because remember, there's nothing about the 24-hour candle other than the fact that possibly we see a reversal retest back up to 93, right? There's nothing about this candle that says full reversal quite yet. Every time I see a good repost, it's you keep blessing my FYP. No shit. I will keep reposting. Fuck yeah. That's actually good, cool. I just paid for the Potter course when I could have watched your videos. So, Mamma Mia, I mean, don't feel bad. You now get time with me. You also have the workshop in chronological order all the way through. I did not see any notifications come up, but yeah, it's not a requirement, but it does put you in a position to be able to access me more often and ask questions with people who are already profitable. So it's not a bad place to be, my boy or mama. All right, what else do we got? Netflix. Shut the fuck up. I can't chart that one, dude. Oracle. Okay, fuck. So good. Oh, that looks good. Oh, my hat. Sorry, that was a little dramatic. I was trying to hold in a yawn while I did that. Oracle. Yeah, so PLTR, Lulu, Netflix, and Oracle all hitting the script. We got a break over $270 for the upside, or a candle close outside of 198.50 on the 2, on the 1, on the 30-minute, it's 198.45. Yeah, so a break outside of that $200 mark, or even a candle close outside of 198.80, and we could get moving in the right direction. We've sat sideways for long enough. We got the rotations. It looks good. It does have a gap down below, like everything else. Does have empty space, right? So we gotta make a move and do. If you do get into this, maybe look on the lower time frames, because if it shoots out fast, middle of the day or beginning of the day, and is unable to hold, ugh. All right. Potter Stoinks. Yeah, I like that. Is this going up on YouTube? It's on YouTube, dude. Yeah, but yeah. Manny, no, I saw that shit, dude. Somebody posted this in the Discord. Listen, things that you will never see in your entire life. That is one of them. Listen, you know that they've replaced my brain if you ever see that shit. That is uncanny. That's fucking. I mean, look at it, dude. That's absolutely diabolical. Yeah, I would rather die. But anyway. Yeah, I know. They got me, dude. All right. Bro, you're the best. Thank you for taking the time to teach people. Of course, man. You getting that ad rev. I know. I'm sorry about the ads. That's my fault. I mean, yeah. Yeah, we might have to ban them. What's happening right here? Not bad, bruh. Man, that shit's addictive. All right, let's see here. TPSU. Yeah, keep dropping those requests. Please drop your request. All right, let's look at Microsoft. Oh, I hate Microsoft so much. Not bad though. I mean, you got empty space. You're at the floor for the third time. However, you did not bounce. So it is up to Monday to get moving to the upside. I can't really say that you got like mega empty space anywhere other than the weekly. So if you end up losing your lows, right, you could be looking at a weekly target of 463. There's not much to catch you. So look at the 4-hour. You do have a little base here. Boy, be careful of reversals tomorrow, man. That is your target of right there at 476 first. Now, as far as triggers are concerned, oof. Okay. Now, 5-minute time frame, cost basis outside of 474. There's your target right there. And you'll notice my target is sitting dead slap center in the middle of that range. So Unity software. Hmm. Yikes. Um, I don't want to go as far as saying this is bearish quite yet, and I think the best case scenario here is to basically do this, right? I mean, as far as I can see, right, you do have a perfect setup to really launch. That is above $47 that I think that chance increases quite a bit. 47.75 is where I think that increases tenfold. The target obviously being somewhere in the $58 range, but as of right now, you're sitting on that 43.30 through 43.50 floor, and it's that break that you're looking for to the upside. So STN. I've been watching your parallel channel videos and I have had trouble with the mouth. Can you go over that a little bit? The mouth is a it seems like it's triggers my chat, but a mouth is a wide fluctuation in trend that creates, or a wide fluctuation in price that creates new trend or establishes short or higher time frame trend. So you could even look at something like this STN, yeah, big move up, big move down. And a lot of the times, right, you'll see trend created out of that. So we look for those wide fluctuations in price in order to kind of establish where trend could be created. So this is a low volume stock. It seems like this wick is holding you back. So the wick is where you likely break. When you do break, I see a target ahead of you around the 101, 175, 101 area. So candle close outside of 97.47. Extremely low volume, not my cup of tea. All of you guys on TikTok, you guys just don't like YouTube? I just know it's easier there. I know there's ads though. All right. IP up. That sounds like you should probably go to the doctor, brother, or lay off the Bluetooth. I'm sorry. IP up. Looks like the ask shot up to 41.21 at the end of the day, but I do see a $42 target directly up above you. So I mean, yeah, it looks good. I would be looking at 42, or yeah, 41.96, $42, and then the following target is here. You got a nice break outside of that 39, basically $40 mark. So yeah, I mean, it did break out. I'm used to watching your TikTok at this point. I thought you guys just liked my face or something. And you look like Steve Harrington? How does that work? I can't. Caucasian guys aren't really capable of transforming, you know. I think, yeah. I don't know if any other races that too, but show you I'm a gooner. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. All right. Neo. So I'm not quite giving up on this one. Obviously we were able to get, actually, I'm not giving up on this one at all. It did leave a gap up above us, which I think inevitably will get filled. Since its breakout, it's been struggling to recover 516. So that's kind of my benchmark for recovery here. However, the hourly calls for something a little different, right? Because we're still maintaining higher highs. We've got empty space. If you move down here to the 30 minute. So what I need to see happen, and we can kind of focus on the 30 minute here. What I need to see happen is a break over 530. Now you can trade this one up and over 518 to 530 and 532. But ultimately, the fact that we left a gap behind, empty space up here, I think letting this build until things cool down is probably a good move. Other than that, oh my God. Hold on a second. All right, let's see here. Bull. So I don't think this one is going to be a sustainable run. However, you did end up bouncing down at those lows at 760. And what you are looking for if we are and actually, you know what? For a short-term play, bull does look pretty decent. You're looking for a candle close at 832 or somewhere in the 837 area, punch back through 860. And ultimately, I think the goal here on bull would be to get it up into this area. So, I mean, honestly, it does not look bad. However, your bull will be coming back down. Whether it fills up that empty space or not, it does come back down. It does fill the gap. And with this being the third time, we could be looking at new lows. Yeah, we're on YouTube. Yeah, I get very little ad revenue, though. I'm talking about like nothing. Yo, Papa Stonks, that's bad funny. Type your wife's name in and I'll just shout it. Scare. All right, so if you want rigotti, sounds like an Italian dish. If you want rigotti to reclaim, right? Step one is going to be already, well, you actually already have accomplished step one. I actually would be looking right here. So if you'll notice the first green candle to your left on the 2 hour time frame, you tap that right here. I would be looking at a potential retest like this and a move back up for a target of 2517. If you can break over 2540, then I could see this one moving back up into this high. And yes, you could look at a potential reversal to 30. But that one doesn't make me feel good inside. All right, let's see here. Homie switched up. Easy to do with Photoshop and AI. Oh man, crazy. I'm in RR and BEA. Okay, RR to the upside. It's a nice little pocket of empty space right there. Let's look at the 24-hour time frame. Ooh, that's pretty good. Nice little punchback right here. Lining up for a move into that $4 mark. And that's where you would obviously be looking for a potential continuation through that. Not bad. Not bad at all. BBAI. Now that one, that's interesting. Hmm. That is really, really, really interesting, huh? So I can't say that I see anything in the immediate future. Could be wrong. Um, However, you have bounced on the floor at 550, right? We've done that a couple of times, 530. You have spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks inside of yours of the same range. On the 24-hour, we have this range with 4 bounces off the top. So right now I'd be looking at 647 to break. And what I really want to see is there empty space above you? And if there is, then you could start looking at a much higher break. Probably about there. AXTI 24. There's not really much I'm going to be able to tell you on this one, I don't think. Oh, wow. Ancient price action. It looks like you're sitting right there. So, I mean, literally above that high, you have a secondary target of 2050. I think maintaining or opening up above that, it looks good. Yeah, that's my only issue right there. So you need to keep it pressing. Anything below that low of 1490, this one might not be so good. Just joined from TikTok too. How do you choose your days till expiration? Let's say DKNG. Sure. In fact, I actually had an idea. Maybe you guys might be interested in this. But maybe I implement and categorizing what plays we identify, right? Because if you can, through having like a certain criteria of what makes something a longer expiration trade or something or a higher time frame trade versus what makes something a shorter expiration, maybe even day trading opportunity, right? So with that being said, when I look at DKNG, right, I can actually go back and it does this when it goes for a break into empty space or whatever. It's typically 5 days, right? You get 5 days of up or down price action on DKNG, and some of it's not super pretty, right? But that's an average. That's pretty easy to identify. However, again, this is quite a bit of empty space up above us. And when we look at how we get to that empty space, it's not all a clean, fast journey, and some of it takes time. We also have to consider that between here and here, we would have the imbalance target, right? So when I look at something like this, right, which would be, I'm actually, yeah, so with a weekly setup all the way. So if I'm playing it from here to here, I'm out a month. I'm automatically looking at this three weeks to a month out. I've got to go for the break, right? That's step one. That's a week. I also have a previous floor or equilibrium. That's another week. We have the imbalance. That's another week. We have just the whole journey in itself. So that right there, a weekly move that I can identify on the weekly 24-hour time frame. That's something where I probably want to have a month behind me. And then on that break, I would be playing to those targets with shorter expiration contracts. So like from here, so a break from here to here, that's that week's contracts. A break from here to that imbalance, that's two weeks. I would say 3 weeks, just adding an extra week depending on when you buy it. So. Hello, Margaret. It's me, God. Where's that from? What's up, Seth? And I would also say that your personal experience can also contribute to how you buy something. Somebody might look at DKNG and they might say, well, I'll buy that 2 months out because they automatically are only going for higher time frame moves and they don't want to deal with theta. Like yes, there's a blueprint. It's my blueprint, but what works for you could be different. right? It could be that you are, and there is plenty of people as an educator that have come through my Discord that they have settled on only swing trading and only longer expiration contracts, and it saved them. And that could be you. So, and if that's the case, then even adding an extra week to what you come to, like, okay, well, I think this is 4 weeks minimum. Just add an extra one. On YouTube. Oh yeah, I saw that. No, I don't. TJX. I cannot help you, man. I can't. You're at the highs, all-time highs. You have 4 weekly candles in a row. You know, you're getting close to that fifth. I would say a couple more weeks or a week or two, and you could probably see that next rotation on the 24-hour. You've got a box. That box saved itself on Friday, pulling itself back up, which definitely adds to the potential of this continuing to move up off of cost basis. So. Thank you, Potter, for everything. Potterbox or nothing. Hell yeah, brother. Riot. So with the potential of Bitcoin going back up and Riot's pretty extreme bounce right here, I definitely could see this thing running a little bit further. The target right now is verifiably 1485. Once that breaks, you have 1538 and 1555. Now it's almost smarter to bring this down, concentrate that volume. You see 1535 right there is your old cost basis. Well, I guess new cost basis would actually, yeah, because price hasn't gone through it. So yeah, I mean, as of right now, I see a move here. You have to keep your foot on the fucking gas pedal, and if you can, I have a much bigger target all the way up to 18 bucks. But that would require that Bitcoin moves all the way. And I will say Bitcoin did something this week that definitely puts it on that path, right? You are above 90, what, 93? So right now, we're with the empty space up above us on Bitcoin, you could see a run to 99 1K or 100K, excuse me. And if that ends up being true, then things like Riot, Mara could be following along shortly. So, all right. Where do you eyeball if it has the volume you like? Where do I eyeball? What do you mean by that? I think I did Marble. No, box there, floor. Okay, so Marvel right now needs to hold 88.72. That's your retest level. Cost basis trigger up is 90.80, and target beyond that would be at 96.37. So Frank Mac rides. Let's see here. So the one thing I'm not going to do is pretend like I can see something where I can't. So that way I can just give you analysis and hopefully seem smart. That's not what I'm going to do. What I am going to do is just give you a couple of price points because other than that, the structure is really lacking. Overhead is 26. You've got a good build. You had your opportunity to go down, and since you've obviously recovered quite well. From there, and from that previous high breaking, I have a target of 928 flat and 2940. Now, because of the empty space above that and in here, I could say 3289. But I don't really have any greater outlook on that one. TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor. They must be doing a, that's another all-time highs deal, brother. right? I can't help you. I don't know where or what price targets other than psychological targets like 330. You have a structure underneath you. That's where you broke out from. But other than that, man, again, guys, if it's all-time highs, I can't help. If it's all-time lows, I can't help. As far as where they'll go next, I can sometimes help you on lower time frames, spot where reversals are coming or when to go short. But other than that, man, again, every trader, every strategy has its pitfall. And, some people want to pretend like there is none and you can understand everything, but it's not just, there are areas where like ICT traders cannot fucking trade in range. Most of them. Okay. Yeah, they do. Let's see. BTX uppies. BlackRock Techno. Oh my God, dude. I listen. Yeah, that's got to be it. Uh, so again, this is might as well be all time highs or all time lows. I have very little to go off of here. I lack structure. The only thing I do see here that I could really weigh out as a positive is, I mean, you've got this number right here. So a candle close on the weekly outside of 691 could definitely get you started. But it is box or range after range directly up above you. I mean, this dude is out. It is not so like I just wouldn't trade it. You know what I mean? Like that's my solution. Is when I see something like this, I just don't. But I mean, if you're looking at it from a long-term perspective, great consolidation down at the bottom. You're looking for a break outside of the sevens to, for some miracle fucking recovery up there. But good afternoon. I will be dedicating 2026 to your strat. Let's meet back. Let's talk again in summer and see how you're where you're at with it. Make sure you write down questions. Use a trade tracking app so you can see your results. Do all those things. Show up if you're in the Discord. Be in those, where the members get together and chart by themselves. If you're a part of the Discord, be there. It's the way to go. ZS. Bounce off structure, starting refill. Let me see. So on the weekly, no bounce, but yes, you are very much correct. Big up, big move up, big move down. Now, I would hope to see maybe a little bit of consolidation here before it makes that next move up. But you are correct. Yes, there is a old box that you punch through, and you're now sitting on top of. So any sort of continuation to the downside below 216.50, and you're looking down at the 207.50s, 205s. How do you reverse? And to your point, right, you do have empty space back up. Now, the 24-hour, so this is definitely a swing stock, right? The 4-hour, trash. 24-hour, pretty damn clear, right? Which means it's going to be moving slower. So longer expirations are definitely going to be the need. First step is 227, right? How you get there will have to be determined by the fucking 15 minute. The faster you fall, the lower the time frame you'll have to use. So it looks like 221.73 and 223 flat will be the first obstacles. But I mean, as far as an area to look for a bounce on, this is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. Because I mean, you're slamming right into that target. So just even a bounce play back up to 227.50, in my opinion, would be the move. So just like Riot and everything else, I mean, this is a dead set copy of Bitcoin. So I mean, my analysis here is clear. If we can break up over outside of this box of 3250, we have a target of 38 flat. 38 flat and 38.70. So I did look at SPY. Yeah, you can go look back at that. Can you teach us how to troll people on TikTok? I mean, I definitely could do that. Um, yeah, you just have to think of it like you're dropping a grenade in a room and leaving. Just, hop on TikTok. If you see like a trader and he's got a hole in his wall behind him that he's taped up or spackled really badly behind him, you just, rage bait him with that. I don't know. I'd have to do it live. Oh my. This must have just IPO'd. So listen, don't overcomplicate this shit. Don't overcomplicate this shit at all from here to there, right? So from 15 to 1650, because there's more empty space up above you, right? We could leave runners into 1714 and maybe even explore our options up to cost basis at 1878. You seem to have the prerequisite for a channel, right? So I think with the consolidation that you have, you must hold 1288 and you need to break over 15 bucks. Would I consider, oh, hold on. OKLO, that has a good setup. That does have a good setup. OKLO has a 24-hour range directly up above you, like so. You did manage to grab the floor on the 4-hour, same deal. Except for the floor is a little bit different at 1785. Cost basis is 8060. It um, let's see here, 2-hour. I'd be looking at 101.70 for a target to the upside. Wolf, make sure you guys let me know up or down. What's your target here? What's your target on the on what, or up or down? What are we looking at here? And when I'm I feel it. Tesla. I haven't done that one yet. What is that? You said 59? I think for the most immediate play, right? And definitely no guarantee with this bastard, but for the first immediate play, it's this box or this range right here that's really going to be the main kicker. That's 441.50. Now, to your point, right? You do have empty space up to 452 and definitely sets you up for a potential recovery. Hold on, 1 hour. So it is here. It is actually on the 4-hour that you can see this pretty clearly. That is what you need to be above, right? When you be above it, I would be looking at a first target of around 445. Sup, everybody? Very new to the trading space. Can anybody explain what is happening? You're being immersed. That's number one. What we're doing today is we are doing Sunday prep. So that means we are looking over our three major ETFs. If you don't know what an ETF is, an ETF is just uh, uh, basically a accumulation of stocks. The QQQ being heavy on tech, SPY being heavy on everything. Um, and what we do is we map out using my strategy what we're looking for, what we see, right? How many days have we run? How many days have we consolidated? And we set up price targets and potential plays. We do the same thing on individual equities, building a playlist going or a watch list going into the next week. So that way we have things to look at and wait for to trade. We only focus on 24-hour setups or higher time frame setups. But if you are brand new, expect to be confused. And if you are confused, be excited. That means that you have the opportunity to learn. Most people, as soon as they don't understand something, they've been taught via school to think that they have just lost because they don't know. Life is not a fucking paper test or a multi-questionnaire. It is experience. So if you don't know, you're in a perfect place to do so, or to know. After all the scanning with people, how do you focus on what you want to trade? It gets overwhelming to the ADHD point. I have extreme over ADHD. I feel like I'm overstimulated too much, forget all alerts help, but dang. So, Nailbus, one of the things that helped me the most is post-it notes everywhere. Still to this day, I have to use post-it notes because if I can't see it, I don't remember it. And oftentimes that means even my own watch list or things that I have, or so when you have ADHD, like me, or a lot of people, and you know, I've definitely a pretty extreme case of it as far as my attention span is concerned. Um, Everything is visual cues, right? So like I used to have a notepad. It either works or it doesn't, and I used to write that. Sometimes it would lose its stickiness and fall, and I write a new one and stick it up there, and that helped me repeat because with our brains, we have to build a pathway that we walk down constantly, or it just becomes a pathway that we forget about because with an ADHD brain, right? We're all over the place. There's pathways going everywhere, but we might not only follow, um, you know, two or three because of our habitual nature. So, dead ass, one of the things that you want to do is have visual cues around you. Um, the second, and that means whatever is the most important to you. So, swing only, right? Uh, Longer expirations. Those are things that you can start writing down because I get it, right? You watch so what happens is especially with again my brain, if it's not relevant, I'm not really recording it, right? Not if, especially if somebody's trying to teach me in that moment. If I don't have a way to actually use it, so like for you, one thing that's going to be super important is that you ask or write down the questions when you have them, because if you don't, you will forget. Okay, so I mean, like, some part of me wishes that I could, like, not part of me. I mean, fuck it, I can do whatever I want. Life realities, maybe I make a, but I thought, like, man, it'd be kind of cool to create like an ADHD guide. You know what I mean? It's kind of silly, but there is ways or tips, I think, if anything, that I've had to utilize because I can be impulsive, right? I have attention issues badly. I've gotten better obviously. I have had to find remedies for a lot of these solutions or a lot of these problems. Um, but I can relate for sure. Visual cues, though, is going to be extremely important. So that way you can remember these are the pathways that you're walking down, especially when you forget them. So, best traders are dealing with ADHD. A lot of them. Yeah, there's a lot of really good traders. But you know what? Some of our weaknesses end up becoming our strengths. If it doesn't look good to me, I don't care. If it looks like trash, I can't, it's even hard to like put my heart into the like I just don't care. And it's really easy for me to move on. So, I mean, yeah, there are positives to your point. So, ready for kick-ass 2026 with this. Ready for a kick-ass 2026 with the Venezuela news. Our asses as a whole, yes. We'll see how this plays out. As long as volatility is here, we can make money. And news events and crazy things around the world do drive volatility. Do you have videos going over trend structures and how reliable, dependent should a trader be on market structure? So like when it comes to the structure that I've identified, and again, if you're not using the 24-hour time frame, you can't see the same thing as I do. I don't care about anything else. Everything. Now I'm looking for one setup, right? And I'll show you guys really quickly, since you guys are going to be watching this back. I'm going to pull some plays from basically from last year, that we posted. And these are encapsulate. If you're not on YouTube, you should be, because I'm literally showing, yeah, Bitcoin looks fucking good, dude. But I'm showing you what I'm looking for, because there's so like I mean, so many traders approach the market the same way every day. And it's a lot of the times like they're looking for this certain setup. You might find that setup on a lower time frame inside of a higher time frame fucking cage, which means you're not going anywhere, right? Or you could hit your target and instantly reverse or stay in range and chop you. Those are things that I desperately try to avoid. But everything that I do is based off of market structure. So for example, here's EA, a chart that we took back before, right? We traded it to its open because that was the first logical price, but we traded it with empty space, with the 1 2 3 1 2 3, right? Beautiful. Yeah, the KSSS play that we took fed, not only did it feed families, it saved people. I'm sure D Train's on here, but she was able to make quite a bit of money, and so were the people in the Discord. And we sent her money to help this little town in Mexico that got flooded. They like, I mean, and she was like buying mattresses, tons of food. It was really cool to see. All right, so that's one, right? PLTR. Now this is going into all-time highs, but you have the box setup, you have empty space being all-time highs. But the punchback right here, pull back, reclaim 50% mark, and you're gone. Let's see here. And I'm showing you guys, exactly what it is that I'm looking for. So same thing here, right? 1 2 1 2, nice consolidation, empty space up above, candle pushes out, closes inside of the empty space, and we go and we hit our structure at 405. Jacuzzi probably. So if you are a part of my Discord, we have an entire channel, and it's probably about time that we did this again. But we have an entire channel for this that we've recorded so many. And if you go back and you look at it, it's the same thing. And that's why I tell people, it's like, I mean, I made that video where it was like fucking, wanted to strangle people, but it's like, it's so hard to get across people's brains that if the more nonchalant you are, like you can be motivated and excited and want this to happen. But if you're like chomping at the bit, you're going to get bit. If you are nonchalant about it because you know exactly what you're looking for and you're like, all right, nothing looks good, I'm not trading. If you have that attitude, it's easy to dip in and dip out. And especially with knowing what we know about 4 or 5 days of solid rippage, and then the play's likely going to be over. If you follow that, if you take a play and for 3 days it rips and you're like, should I take profit? You got probably about 2 days to make that decision, if that, depending on what that stock is. All right. If you are on YouTube, by the way, comment where you're from. Just where are you? What state are you from? Country? Where are you at? You said it. All right. If anybody else has, yeah, that KSS play though. And that was a simple play too, right? Same thing. I didn't know that it was going to do that. I mean, I had no fucking earthly idea. All I knew is that the candle closed outside of the box and it had empty space, and I wanted to take it to 1050, 1075, and 1216. Woke up the next day, extremely cash rich. Kansas, St. Augustine. I'm in NC, Texas. He said, "Nice try, Mossad agent." It's raining in Houston, love. Get out of here with that. Get out of here. UPS, Arkansas. Oh, I was like, UPS. You trading from UPS right now? Vid Clippers. Why are you not showing my charts? I'm on YouTube right now, man. Day 33 of asking for a kiss. Ian, are we still on that, man? I thought we shared something and then, we let it go. Now you're back for more. Typical. Sudanese? Hell yeah. Love that, man. Kentucky, Pennsylvania. Yes, look at UPS. Oh, you did ask me, is UPS a good setup? Um, right off the bat, nothing catches my eye, right? But I do think this is a good setup on the weekly, and for this reason alone. On the weekly, you dipped down, touched the wicks, and then pulled yourself back up above $100. You do have empty space up above you, which is the most important thing, right? In order to make sure that we run. And it looks like the wicks right here at 105. I mean, there's some candle closes happening at 104, but it's a decent setup. It's a decent setup. I think if I was trading this, I would be looking for 109. Once I had a taste, I couldn't get enough. I'm jealous of your wife. Now I gotta screenshot that, dude. I'm sorry. Thank you for that screenshot. I appreciate that. Look at my thumb. Don't expose me. Um, Long Beach? Hell yeah. Meta down? Perhaps, yes. I mean, listen, keep it simple. That's short. That's my short, right? Anything below 638.50, and that's where I would be looking at taking this one short. I can't necessarily, well, you know what, I can't necessarily immediately sign off on that as you are still above cost basis, but if we can get a push down below that, yes, absolutely. I'll do AMD again, yeah. Meta has a decent setup, yeah. I think it just needs to cook a little longer. Yes, AMD does have the potential to run. I have a target on it for Monday of 232. 232.60. That happens, right, with a successful candle close starting with 225.33. Put Bros always says it's a Potter box. Yeah, he's the man, dude. Yeah, we'll be doing a live together, me and him. I think relatively soon. Al up. All right, guys, we're getting close to time here. Got to go ahead. It's 8 o'clock. Oh no, you're talking about Halliburton, not Heat-A-Stand. So I can't see any empty space immediately, right? And that's one of the first things that usually deters me from trading something. Monthly, not much anything. I do see a solid target up above you at 3087, which doesn't seem like it would really be worth it. But yeah, I mean, so I see that target here as well. So above 30, right? The first target would be naturally here at 30.96 or $31. Seeing that it is maybe your third time approaching, we could look for a target stretching up to 31. Thank you for the stream, Potter. Also, the screenshots. I did go over the cues. You can see that on YouTube. And awesome. I'm glad you got the screenshots that you did. Jay Damon said, ask you about Delulu. Tell him it's a great play. It'll open up a very quick day trading opportunity, both above and below. If it moves down first, it's more, and it does it very quickly, it will likely reverse off of that pullback, and it will rip ass. Okay. And no joke, it's on the watch list. So I do have a watch list. By the way, this might be a good time to let you guys know. This year I've had more and more people asking about my long term, what I'm doing with that, and I figured the only solution is to do like a bi-monthly, maybe tri-monthly newsletter, because I don't need to. I mean, I guess I could do it in one video or do a video and put that in the newsletter. But I'd rather keep you guys up to date with those things there. So, Jose, get out of here, dude. All right, let's close this up. Let's do a few last tickers here. Baidu, brother. Listen. I am not ever going to sit here and lie to y'all. I see an overhead target right here, and that is it. That is it. Right? This doesn't qualify as a punchback for me. It's too choppy to be a box. There are some upside vulnerabilities, but we also have to look at the conditions that we're in right now and whether or not that calls for it. If we can break over that price target, sure. Wolf on the weekly time frame. I think if anything, maybe change to Baba, because Baba is lagging behind Baidu. And so perhaps this one has a better setup for a long. All right, Wolf. Netflix is back there. Nice, Doc. You can check that one out. So I see the obvious answer here for Wolf is you are inside of a weekly box. Very simple, very clear. You have a lot of empty space up above you. I don't know what this is, nor what it does. But I do know that you have tapped that 1683 range a lot. And so one of the goals here is to identify who's winning, right? Who's winning on the sell or the buy side. One way we can identify that, obviously, we've got a nice bounce off of that $11 floor. This is about the second time that we've been up here, and then above you right here. So we want to see Wolf hit that $14 mark and punch back through $14.92. But ultimately, it is a break outside of 1625 that'll get you moving in the right direction. That seems like a new setup to me. Definitely seems like a new setup. All right. If you have any other requests, save those for the morning. I'll see you guys bright and early. And we'll see if we can open up this week. Again, write it on a notepad. I'm going to be yelling at you guys to get your trade tracking apps. And if I see you asking, if you ask me about a stock, about getting into a trade after it's already ripped or dumped for consecutive days, I'm going to be on that ass. All right. So if you want to win, again, I don't say these things for no reason. Get in, get your bag. If you get your bag, let your bag fill up the way it ought to through that empty space and back the fuck off. Excuse my language. No overtrading this week. Only take the trades that make sense to you. And let's do this the fucking right way. Let's start out. Keep 2026 moving in the right direction. Last week was not too bad. First couple days of January were good. But y'all stay focused. I'll see you guys in the morning. Bye-bye now.